See if I got all my stuff here. What's going on, guys? I always start the stream too early, I think. Okay, here we go. I'm just pulling up. I had a list of questions. Just trying to find it now. Okay, got that. All right. Hey, what's going on, guys? So I hope you can hear me. My microphone was not working for whatever reason. I don't know what's going on with it, but it wasn't working, so I switched to my headphones here, my headset, and so hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. Okay, yeah, cool. Move that out of the way. All right, so yeah, so I had a couple questions that people have sent in to me, so I figured I would just throw them all up on just a live video rather than putting together something that's edited and produced and all that. So I figured it's just a quicker way to just throw it up here on the channel. So again, if you ever have any questions, you can always add them in the comments. I always try to save them. If there's something that a lot of people are asking, I usually will try to make a video of if it's something I see a lot of. So yeah, so if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, I'll go ahead and go through them. So this is a Q&A that I'm doing for we reached 4,000 subscribers a little bit ago, which I honestly can't believe, because when you consider this is like a niche of a niche audience, right? Like, first of all, wrestling fans, you have a small segment of people who are wrestling fans, and then an even smaller segment of that who are interested in becoming a wrestling promoter or what goes on behind the scenes. So I think it's pretty incredible that we're at 4,000 subscribers. I didn't expect to ever see 1,000, so 4,000 is pretty cool. So I appreciate everybody for subscribing here. So the first question I got was from somebody who said, "Hey, why isn't the Discord active? The Discord?" Um, and it is. So I'm just pulling it up now. It is like I'll always throw questions up, but like I don't really know what Discord is, so I don't know if I'm using it correctly. But I'll throw questions up there, and I'll let people know, hey, there's a video coming out tomorrow or 2 days or whatever. But not a lot of people respond to anything on there, so I don't know that I'm using it correctly, or if it's I don't know much about it, honestly. So I'm trying to make it active, but I also just I don't know if this is a thing that nobody uses. Maybe I really have no idea. So if you know anything about Discord, jump on. There should be a link in the description of this video. Jump on and tell me what I'm doing wrong or what I should be doing differently, because I honestly have done no research into it. Somebody commented yesterday, why did you put a woman in the Super 8? So I'll get to that question a little later on. Maybe we'll save that one for last, actually. So if you missed it, we announced the last entrant for the Super 8 was Erica Lee, who is in fact a female. Let me move this over. Okay, cover my face here. There we go. All right, I'm just organizing my monitors here as we're going on. When will you do more of the watching series you do with your friend? I think that's I think what they were talking about was the segment where my friend Kubi and I were watching some of our old matches. Mostly, I think they're mostly his old matches. And we had done a couple. I think we did 2 or 3 of them. But we don't honestly have any plans to do any more right now. It's always been a problem, because we I think generally speaking we both like working with each other, but we have very different preferences on what we want to work on. So like I'm very wrestling heavy, as you can imagine, and he has never been interested in wrestling. He just likes creative stuff and um, things of that nature. So unfortunately, it's always like, in order for me to do an outside project with him, I would have to take time away from wrestling because there's only so many hours in the day, and then taking time away from wrestling. At this point in my life, I'm just not interested in it. So unfortunately, it's just we want to do more projects, or I'll speak for myself. I want to do more projects with him, including something like that. It's just there's only so many hours in the day, right? So unfortunately, right now we don't have enough hours in the day to to get it done. Like we've made movies before and stuff like that. And every year I kind of want to do. We used to do Christmas movies. I want to do a Christmas movie, but it's always wrestling themed, and he's not into that. And then when we come up with an idea, it's just I'm never motivated enough to not to stop doing wrestling and then do that project instead, if that makes sense. So it's just hopefully we'll get the time, and life will settle down at some point and we'll be able to do some other project together, because I think generally speaking we work well together, and I think we enjoy working with each other. It's just time and the perfect project just haven't presented itself to us, I guess. I keep getting this question. I always answer it. Will you do a live in-person seminar? And it's the same answer every time. Anything I would say in a seminar, I'd throw up on this channel for free. So there's no point in me charging people to come to a seminar for stuff they can just watch online at their own time. So I don't see the point of doing a in-person seminar. Um, that's just me. Um, Also, I see the battery here on my camera is pretty low, so if this just cuts off, it's plugged in, but if it just cuts off, that's what happened. Somebody asked me about the Cody Rhodes thing, if it's a work or a shoot, and I have no idea. I, I wouldn't know. I don't talk to Cody Rhodes. I have friends of friends who work with Cody Rhodes, but I don't know whether that's a work or a shoot. I can tell you it's cool because everybody's talking about it. I'm a big fan of Cody Rhodes. I know a lot of people don't like him. I think he's a great promo. His matches kind of over deliver. Maybe there's too much to him sometimes. But I'm a big Cody Rhodes fan, and I never was a big fan of Cody Rhodes. Like when he was in WWF, I was not a fan. It's all his post WWF work that I really enjoy. In fact, I've said it before, I think on this channel, that my favorite feud of the last 10, 15 years was Nick Aldis and Cody Rhodes leading into All In. I thought that was so well built up, and it was such a fresh approach. And it really brought that NWA title back into prominence and kind of made it mean something, at least to me. I mean, you guys tell me if you agree or disagree. Okay. Somebody else said, more backyard documentaries, please. I only have one more, uh, and that's because I was only involved in one other thing that can be considered a backyard documentary. Um, and I'm not actively pursuing um, other backyard companies to try to make a documentary or tell their story. I'm just telling the story that I know, and the story that I participated in. So we did. If you watched any of the B4W ones, there's three parts to it, and they're told across 12 years or so, something like that. And it starts with us as 15, 16, I guess 14 year olds, and then into adulthood, quite honestly. And then after that, I had the option of returning to running professional wrestling shows, and this was in 2013. And at that time, I had stopped in 2011 and was doing one or two shows a year I would do as a professional wrestling show, and that was it. I was just doing pretty much closed tapings, backyard tapings, whatever you want to call them. And then the idea kind of came about, like, you know what? Let's get the guys who were still into this. Let's create something, and it's just for fun. And then we'll build it up. We'll do a live show, and we'll be done. And it'll kind of make everything end the right way. So that's what we did, and it started out as a backyard. We did like 6 episodes the first season. We took the winter off. We came back. We did 20 episodes the second season. Um, Third season, we moved to my backyard at my house, where I was living at the time. Then we did a live show, and then that was kind of going to be it. And then we came back and did tapings at the CCW school, and then ironically the ECWA school the next year. So it ended up being 5 seasons, and it wasn't supposed to go more than two. But it was absolutely the most fun I've ever had in wrestling. Um, so once you get a chance to see that, I think it'll be up here on a. I don't have my schedule in front of me, but in a couple weeks you'll see the documentary. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, I would definitely check it out because, like I said, it was absolutely the most fun I've ever had. And again, we were wrestling in a backyard at age 27, like way too old to be wrestling in a backyard. But yeah, I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Like, if it's something you enjoy doing, I'm one of those people. I don't care what people think about me. So I think everybody in the crew was had the same mindset that, look, we only got a couple years to wrestle anyway. Let's just do it. And anyway, that led to us running shows again back in 2015 or 2016, something like that. And I've been running monthly ever since then. So, who helped you the most in professional wrestling? So I always forget what I've done videos on, so I apologize if I'm retreading here. Um, but the people who helped me the most, there was a guy named Evan Davis who helped us out early on when we were doing backyard shows. Um, and I think I made a video on him. And then after that, it was Mike Keener, who was a referee for ECW. He's a current referee for like MLW, MCW. He does refereeing all over the place. He was a wrestler too. And then John Finnegan as well, also a referee for ECW, referees for ECWA to this day. And then Steve Carino, who helped me and sat down with me and showed me how to be a booker and all the stuff to do and not do and all that stuff. And we're actually inducting Steve Carino into the ECWA Hall of Fame next month. So it's the 22nd today, or 23rd, 22nd. So next month on the 26th, we'll be inducting him into the ECWA Hall of Fame. So he's actually coming up to do that, and I'm super excited. I haven't seen him since maybe 2015. I flew down to North Carolina, or drove down to North Carolina, and helped him out with a couple of his shows. I think that was the last time I've talked to him since then a bunch, but he went to WWF about a year and a half later, so I haven't really seen him. So it'll be great to have him there and kind of pay tribute to him and put him in the ECWA Hall of Fame for everything he helped me out with. And in addition to his contributions to independent wrestling, I mean, you think about it, the guy started in 1994 and didn't sign with a major company until 2017, I think. So it's like, what, 23 years he was an independent wrestler exclusively and made his livelihood. So, like, how do you not respect somebody like that? And that was before, Twitter and everything was big. He plugged away and blazed a trail, led a path that so many people have followed since. But without somebody like him, there might not be a Young Bucks or an Adam Cole and guys like that. So super excited to get to see Steve again. It's been far too long, far too long. This question threw me off because I didn't know what it meant. It said favorite fast food or favorite movie. So I didn't know if I had to pick one or the other, but I'm just going to answer both. I think I've said this before. My favorite movie is Ghostbusters, the original. I definitely really enjoyed the new one. But the original is my favorite. That and Titanic, I kind of alternate on. And then my favorite fast food is Burger King because as a kid we used to always go to Burger King because it was the closest to where we all lived. So I guess it's always kind of what you grew up on tends to be your favorite or your go-to. Um, And okay, so the last question I had was the first question was why did you put a woman in the Super 8? Um, and to be honest, that was something that was supposed to happen a couple years ago. The previous owner had plans for Deanna Perrazzo. If you guys, I think she's in Impact right now or TNA, which it's an Impact now, I think. Whatever. She's there now, I think. She was actually supposed to be the first woman to compete in the Super 8, so that was a couple years ago, and for whatever reason, they didn't do it. Um, so it's an idea that had been out there. It's not something revolutionary or anything like that, but I mean, you've seen women in the Royal Rumble, and you've seen women in the Royal Rumble since there's been a men's and women's Royal Rumble. So um, there's been women in the PWI 500. It's just kind of it's a new time in wrestling. Um, and I think it's beyond time that something. I don't think it's going to be a yearly occurrence. It might be. I don't know. I don't know that maybe the Super 8 will eventually merge into two different or one single tournament. I don't know. Um, I can only speak to what I'm thinking today, and that's just I was just putting the one girl in it. We're not looking for when we put together the Super 8, or at least when I do. I'm not looking for a quota of anything, right? I'm not looking for one guy who does this and one person who does this and one girl, and it's just whoever I think would best represent the state of independent wrestling at that time. Um, and that's why somebody like Ricky Morton is in the Super 8. I mean, technically, the Super 8 to me represents the up and comer and who's going to be the next guy. But I mean, you've seen it before where Jerry Lynn was in the Super 8, and I think he even won the Super 8, if I'm not mistaken. And this was in maybe 2008, 2007, something like that. So, like, he was well beyond ECW, nearing the end of his career. So I think you can always have a legend or somebody like that in the match. Um, and I think Ricky Morton definitely fits the bill. I'm super excited to have him in the Super 8 this year. Um, I do have a couple videos coming out in the next. I think they're all scheduled for the next couple weeks here. So let me see if I can pull them up here. Switch account. I got so many YouTube accounts. I love that I just realized because I'm on a different YouTube account when I went to look at this. I love that the picture that comes up is the the Santa Claus picture still. I don't know how to change that. That was from the Christmas live stream, and I don't know how I added that picture, and I don't know how to remove it. So next week, oh no, this week. I'm sorry. This week is a video with Dutch Mantel talking about comedy and wrestling. So like the debate is, does funny equal money? And it's always been debated in wrestling. I think the big argument was like Colt Cabana and Jim Cornette a couple years ago. I think that's where it all started. I could be wrong on that. But we get Dutch Mantel's thoughts on that. The week after that, March 4th, is the one thing that all wrestling promoters hate. Um, and that title's a little clickbaity, but basically it's every promoter I've known or worked with or worked for has hated this one thing. So everybody I know, I don't know that all wrestling promoters hate this, but the week after that, how to get rich in professional wrestling in 2022. Everybody's been asking for that video, how to make a ton of money and how to make money in wrestling. So um, it's going to be out there on March 11th. So that's 3 weeks. And then after that is the backyard wrestling thing. That is on March 18th. And then the week after that is the Super 8. So that'll be a busy week. I always want to do a live stream when I'm at the venue, but truth be told, for the Super 8, I don't know that we'll be able to. There's so much going on. We're doing a lot of pre-tapes. If you guys didn't catch it earlier, we're doing a Saturday morning show. It's bi-weekly for right now. Might go to weekly. I've had actually a couple people now suggest that it's weekly. Vin was one of them. Vin, who's been on this channel a couple times, but a couple of the other wrestlers think it should be a weekly thing. That tends to add a little bit more work, so I don't know that I'm necessarily going to do that right away, but maybe after the summer or something like that. But we're going to be taping matches and stuff like that prior to the Super 8, so I got to tape all those matches. We have a ton of setup to do. We're doing the live stream ourselves, so there's a lot of wiring and configuring to do on that side of things. So it's going to be a busy day. And the one thing I don't think I'll have time for is to get together a live stream unless everything goes smoothly and I'm done with everything with more time than I can imagine to spare. So I guess we'll see how the day goes. I'm not against it, but I don't see it. I don't see it happening right away. So all right, I think that's everything. I think I covered everything. I just want to thank everybody for subscribing to this channel. If you're not subscribed already, what the hell are you waiting for? No, I really appreciate it for everybody who is subscribed. Never thought we'd get anywhere near 4,000, um, and it's thanks to everybody out there that we've done it. So that's all. If you guys have any additional questions or anything you want me to cover, comment on this video and let me know, and then we can kind of go from there. Any questions pertaining to Super 8, independent wrestling, backyard wrestling, whatever you want to talk about. Also, if you know anything about the damn Discord thing, jump on there and yell at me and tell me what I'm doing wrong or what I need to be doing differently. Um, and I think that's everything. So I'm going to end this now. Thanks for checking out the video, and I'll see you guys soon.